Greetings, everybody. It's Noel here from the list. That intro song you just heard was Where Eagles Dare. They're a hardcore punk band from Arizona, I believe. No longer around, but I really like those guys a lot. Anyways, today's video is going to be a little showcase of my trading card and sports card collection. So I hope you all enjoy that. Hopefully I'm getting better with using a handheld camera. Hopefully I'm not fumbling around as much. But yeah. I don't think there's really much else to say other than I want to do some more videos soon. Possibly showing off my comic book collection and my stamp collection, since I've showed off some of my other collections in recent days. But yeah, on to the video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I'm slowly working my way towards 100 subscribers, at which point I'll get more cool features and whatnot. And I believe with 100 subs I get the ability to live stream on YouTube, which will be nice. But yeah, that's about it. On to the video. Thanks for watching.
Greetings, everybody. It's Noel here from the list. I been wanting to do this video for a while. I have my sports card and trading card collection here in front of me. I'll go ahead and switch the view here real quick. So I have a few different categories of cards here. We have sports cards. This is actually all of my sports cards right here, but there's so many there that we'll go through those another time. But here I have some that I picked out especially to show you guys. So without further ado, I think we'll look at this pile first. This is mostly sports cards in this pile here. Let me actually make some room here on this play mat here so that I can show you guys what's going on. Alright. So these are the sports cards I wanted to show off. I'm a big Green Bay fan, so there's a lot of Green Bay cards here, especially from the 90s, which is pretty much the era that I was most into the NFL. I still follow Green Bay casually at this point, but I was a huge fan of the 90s era Packers, so there's a lot of that era here. There's one of the cards I like most is this Brett Favre. It's a predictor card, which one side is 30 completions in a game, and then the other side is, it has the rules. But I used to have there was a Steve Young predictor card too, but you follow the player on the card to see if they equal or exceed the individual goal listed on the front, and then if they exceed or meet the goal, then you can mail this card along with a 175. What year was this? This was in 1996. So you would send a $1.75 in 1996, and you would get a super premium quality card of the player depicted on the front. So that was a pretty cool little deal they had going there. But obviously I never participated in that. I just have the card, but it's a cool looking card. It's like weirdly shaped, so this top loader was the only sleeve that I had that could really house the card properly. But I really like that one. But yeah, we'll go through some of these more of these Green Bay cards. We got this Edgar Bennett sweet foil card that has like UFOs blasting the field. That was pretty cool looking. It's from the Metal Universe series. Those are cool. Daryl Thompson, 1990 first round draft pick. Eddie Lee Ivory. I think this is 70s or 80s era. Take it out of the sleeve real quick. Let's see here. '85. So Packers leading rusher in 1985. Eddie also caught 28 passes for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns last year. So that was a little bit before my time, but I do have some 70s and 80s era Green Bay cards thrown in here. They are mostly 90s though, because that's when I was primarily collecting sports cards, was in the 90s. There's another first round draft pick. Terrell Buckley for 94. Reggie White, one of the I'd say one of the best players in modern Green Bay history. Got the Topps All-Pro. Let's see what's on the back of this real quick. I like these like foil looking cards. Reggie White, defensive end. The sack tallies fill NFL record books, but White's favorite stat is 23-2. The Packers' defensive rankings jump after he came aboard in 1993. There's little doubt he rates as the #1 power rusher ever. That's high praise, but I think it's worthy praise. He was definitely one of our best players in that era. We got the George Teague. A lot of 94 cards here. Tony Mandarick. Tim Harris. Got another Reggie White card there. That's kind of a funny picture. His arm looks super long in that picture. It's kind of crazy. White inspires the Packers defense in San Francisco. 1/6/96. Got Brent Fullwood. A lot of 1990 Pro Bowl cards here. Lynn Dickey, that's another 80s era card there. He's actually the quarterback at that time. There's been some interesting quarterbacks over the years for Green Bay. A lot of them were kind of faded into obscurity there, but the Favre era was definitely my favorite era, since it's kind of the era that I grew up in watching. So got this Aaron Rodgers rookie card that I like a lot. It's from the Topps Football 50th Anniversary Series. I like that one. Let's see, this is Bryce Pop. It's a great name. Ken Rutgers. Leroy Butler. Another great player from the 90s era there. I really like these Fleer 94 series. They have the gold team logo and the gold player signature. It's pretty cool looking. Got this hilarious card with Brett Favre wearing the cheese head. Hilarious. Sterling Sharp, another of the amazing players from that era of Green Bay. I have a lot of Sterling Sharp cards here, so get prepared to see more of him. Team MVP there. Perry Kemp. Dan Mishkowski. Another of the lesser known Green Bay quarterbacks from yesteryear. This card's kind of wrinkled. These cards from the 70s or the 80s, I'm sorry, are in kind of rough shape, but the cardstock they used for these was actually kind of flimsy, so it's kind of surprising that it even held up at all. That's another 80s era card there. Sterling Sharp again. Like I said, there's a lot of him in here. Oh, this is the one I was thinking of. This is a double disguise card. I believe Steve Young is on the back of this one. Let me see if I can pull it out of the sleeve. Yeah, this is the one that has Steve Young on the back. I'm not sure what the double disguise series was all about. It just has, I guess, like kind of iconic players from that time. Possibly players that play the same position, I'm guessing, maybe. But I like that one a lot, just because it's two of the best quarterbacks from that era. Brett Favre's record for the most consecutive starts probably isn't going to be beaten anytime soon. It's a pretty impressive record. Another Sterling Sharp there. Rocket Man. The cheesy background is very funny on that. It has like stars in the background. It's hilarious. George Teague again. Another one of those really nice looking Fleer 94 with the gold signatures. This one is Edgar Bennett. It's a good shot. This one is another Sterling Sharp. Got a lot of him. One of the best players from that era for Green Bay. Edgar Bennett again. It's another Sterling Sharp, I believe. It's got a sick lineup there. Beautiful lineup. I want to say this is another 80s era card, but let's just check the date to make sure. '80 and '81. Yep. He was drafted number 2 pick for the Packers in 1980. Fluid athlete with excellent speed, marked tied for Packer interceptions last year and club's leading return artist. This one is another one of those ones that has kind of flimsy cardstock that kind of it's surprising that it's held up this long. Let's see what's next here. Matt Brock. When is this one from? Because that's another name that I don't really remember too well. This one is another 80s era, early 90s actually. He was a number 3 draft pick in 1989. Some dust, some lint on this. Led the Green Bay defensive lineman with 57 tackles last season. That's pretty impressive. Slightly before my time, before I got really into watching NFL. Lindy Infante, head coach. That's a hilarious name. Also slightly before my time, but I respect that name. Got Jermichael Finley, tight end. I like that one. Got an interesting design there. Don Mishkowski again, quarterback. Mark Murphy, safety. Looks like he's wearing a garbage bag. As a jacket. That's a stylish jacket that he's wearing there. The old garbage bag jacket. Another Mark Murphy. Got several of him. Brett Favre again, of course. Favre's 30th touchdown pass puts him in select company. This was the 95 season here. Pretty much at the height of their power in those days. Got another Reggie White. I really like this series that has the gold foil at the bottom there. Those are cool looking. It's kind of like almost a blurry photo there, but it kind of works for some reason. What's next? Don Davey, defensive end. 3rd round draft pick there. Look how wide that guy is. That's impressive. Chuck Webb, running back. And there's some other random cards thrown in here that I pulled out of the of this little container here, but I put some of them in sleeves because they were notable players. Got this Dikembe Mutombo card here. I like that one. It kind of has like the similar like gold foiling as these ones. I wonder if that's from the same year with that same sort of foiling. Not sure. Got this Howie Long card here. Now there's a lot of Raiders fans here in New Mexico. Good old Howie Long. With the Steve Young card. Back to Packers here. Brett Favre again. Team Trio. It's an interesting photo. BJ Raji. Love that dude. Representing the fat guys of the NFL there. How much does it show BJ Raji's weight on here? Because he's a huge dude. He's 6'2", 337. That's pretty close to my height and weight right now, actually. I'm no lineman though, that's for sure. BJ's immense girth is the first thing everyone notices, but opposing players know that he's much more than a space eater. It's extremely rare you see a player his size with that much movement, that much athletic ability. Giants offensive lineman Kevin Booth says. I love the how the back of the card is just talking about how big he is. Good stuff. Got Dave Brown. Very stylish armbands there. I like those. Jeff Query, wide receiver. Once again, slightly before my era, but still cool. I'm guessing this is another 80s era card. Let's check the date on this one, just to make sure. Let's see here. Let's take it all the way out there. Yeah, another 80s era card. George was one of the Packers' outstanding rookies of 1980. Described by Packer scouting staff as an outstanding athlete and player with big play potential. It was the club's first selection in the 1980 college draft. George plays far beyond size limitations and has truly rare ability. He's 6 foot. Yeah, that is pretty small for the NFL, actually. 6 foot, 220. Good stuff. Got some more Sterling Sharp here. These cards are interesting because they're like they're see-through, somewhat like transparent. They're kind of interesting. Pull it out of the sleeve so you can see. I think that was a cool idea though. It looks kind of odd, but it works. They're sort of like a mirror image on the other side, which is interesting. I like that card design though. They tried something different and it worked. This Cal Ripken card. I kind of just put players that I recognize into sleeves because I'm not really a huge sports guy other than NFL, and I'm also a big UFC fan, but I just put players that I recognize the names of into sleeves. So got Manute Bol there, Chili Davis. Is this one actually signed? No, I don't think so. I have another one that is signed though somewhere. Another Sterling Sharp, a duplicate of that same Sterling Sharp. Oh, here's the one I was thinking of that's signed. It's a Rodriguez Smith signed card here. Signature rookies. I don't know who got that signed, but it's interesting. I don't even remember where I got most of these sports cards. I think I might have acquired a collection that had most of this stuff in it. A lot of it was in my grandma's attic, and some of it got water damage, which I'll show you here in a second. But most of it survived, which is nice. The water only got on some of the stuff that was in there. We also have these hilarious Colorado Silver Bullets cards that they're Coors Light cards. That was a simpler time. I really like those though, just because you don't see Coors Light cards too often. Let's see, what are these here? Oh, Bubby Brister there. Oh, and this is the Deion Sanders. It's like a drawn representation of him. I like that. Some good art there by V. Wells. Good job, V. Wells. Some good painting that you did there. Alright, that's a lot of the sports cards that I wanted to show. There's another little pile here that I still wanted to show off real quick that I put into top loaders. This is a Junior Seau. I really like that, the Fleer Metal series again. Looks cool. And we got another Deion Sanders when he played for the Reds. I heard he was a decent baseball player, actually. He's just an overall great athlete. I don't know exactly what he did during his baseball career, but he was amazing in the NFL. That's all I know. Another Deion card there. This one is Nolan Ryan. His 300th win card there. It's kind of cool looking. It's has that sweet design in the background there. Chan Ho Park. Cal Ripken Jr. Marcus Allen. Like I said, these are fairly random, but it was just players whose names that I recognize from the very little amount of sports knowledge that I had from the 90s. Marshall Falk. Scottie Pippen, another drawn painting thing here. A painting of Scottie Pippen there. Looks hilarious. Jerome Bettis. Dominique Wilkins. Mike Piazza. This is one of the cards that got damaged by the water because my grandma's attic had a leak in the roof, and this is one of the cards that got damaged. So the whole back is pretty much toasted, but the front is still somewhat survived, so I kept it just for the hell of it, even though it's pretty much destroyed. Here's Dan Marino. A lot of the those water damage cards got stuck to other cards, so this one is actually fused to another card. I'm not sure what the other card is. Quarterback number 13, so who knows what the other card is on the bottom, but it's actually two cards fused into one there. And I think that's all the sports cards pretty much. And we got some other interesting stuff I wanted to show off. Firstly, this Milk Mustache series. This is a kind of a weird version of the Avengers from the 90s. This is from 99. It was an Avengers team that consisted of Stinger, Mainframe, Thunderstrike, and J2, which is a very weird Avengers team, but Thunderstrike was kind of known for being like the Thor of the 90s, like the edgy Thor though. Like they tried to make Thunderstrike kind of like an extreme like 90s like edgy Thor. Never really took off, but I do have a few issues of Thunderstrike in my comic collection, which I might have to show off my comic collection sometime in another video, but I have a shitload of comic books, so that's gonna have to be maybe a 3 or 4 part video, because I have a few hundred comic books that I could possibly show off. But these Milk Mustache cards were like, they formed like one picture together with these three. I guess this one was just like a placeholder card that had Spider-Man, because it says ultra rare, but it doesn't actually, it just has the silhouette of Spider-Man, so I'm guessing that one was a placeholder. But then you have Doctor Doom there. So those are interesting. They were Got Milk advertisement cards. And on that same subject, I also have these other Got Milk Mustache cards that were various NBA players. Got Glenn Robinson there with a milk mustache. Brevin Knight with the milk mustache. Here's the card that explains what's going on here. Why is milk such a hit with your favorite athletes? Collect these cards and find out. Jason Williams with the milk mustache. Reggie Miller with the milk mustache. Dikembe Mutombo with the milk mustache. I wonder if these were just like photoshopped to have the milk mustache, or if they actually had these guys drink milk, because it's kind of weird, but it's hard to tell if it's just photoshopped or if it's actually real milk or not. You got Tim Hardaway there. These have basketball tips and milk tips on the back, which is very silly. Got Kevin Johnson and Eddie Jones. So yeah, there's those. I just find those hilarious. That's pretty much the only reason I kept them, is because I find them very funny. It's like, do we really need to advertise milk? Like, were the kids of the 90s so unhealthy that we needed all these milk advertisements? I guess so. What do we want to do next? I guess I'll just talk about these stamp cards here. I also collect stamps, so in the 90s, a big thing that they were kind of pushing was these stamp cards. That it's basically trading cards that you could affix a stamp to. So I have all except one of the stamps that's actually attached to the card. This one is Blondie. We have the Toonerville Folks. These are like super old comic strips from, like, I want to say, like, a lot of them are from like the 40s, 50s, and 60s. You have Terry and the Pirates. They have more information on the back. Like, a lot of these like comic strips were before my time. Like, I don't even remember ever seeing these. Like, this one is from 1934, but they had a whole series of these basically classic comic strip titles here. The Kassenjammer Kids, Crazy Cat, Dick Tracy, it's a classic there. The Dick Tracy movie of the 90s was another one of my favorites. Brenda Starr, Lil Abner, Gasoline Alley. This is the one that I lost the stamp to. It's Little Nemo in Slumberland. I might still have the stamp somewhere, because I still have my stamp collection from when I was a kid that I'll probably show off in another video. Barney Google, Little Orphan Annie. That's Rube Goldberg's inventions. That's hilarious. Alley-oop. Prince Valiant, that's a classic there. The Yellow Kid. Nancy. Bringing Up Father. Really like the artwork on that one. Interesting. Got Flash Gordon there, another classic comic strip character there. Got the Popeye. And then these ones were folk heroes. So we have John Henry, Mighty Casey. There's the John Henry again with the actual stamp on it. Pecos Bill, Paul Bunyan. So those are interesting. They made a lot of these in the 90s that I don't know like how popular they were, but I really liked them as a kid just because they had interesting like cartoonish artwork. But then there's these ones which were helping children learn. Which is kind of hilarious. These are from 97, it looks like. Back when stamps were 32 cents. So those are interesting. And then these are the same thing, but these are ones that I never actually got the stamps to go with them because they have a space here on the back for you to put the actual stamp, but you had to buy the stamps separately, so I never actually got these ones, but they do have cool artwork, so I still kept them anyways. So focus, 1994 is when these ones are from. That one's pretty cool looking. It's a Midnight Angel from the Holiday Traditional series. I'm gonna have to try and find these stamps one day so that I could actually have the stamps that go along with them. I'll have to see if I can find somebody that's selling like the whole series, because to find each individual stamp by itself would be quite an undertaking. Year of the Boar. The next Year of the Boar will occur in 2007. So it's a 60-year cycle, so I wonder if there's been another Year of the Boar since 2007. I think there has. Was it 2018 or 2019? That it might be the Year of the Boar right now, for all I know. I know, I saw a Year of the Boar coin. Ulysses S. Grant. These are pretty cool. I need to get the actual stamps that go with them eventually, just to complete the collection there. I really like these ones. These ones of like prehistoric creatures. There's the saber-toothed cat, the woolly mammoth. This one is I believe it's called Eohippus. Yeah, still remember that. It's just because I was kind of into prehistoric animals as a kid. Lighthouse. There's a lot of Earth Day stamps that they released in the 90s. Another Earth Day. Volleyball. There's another Mastodon. Prehistoric creatures. Florida. Got these horses. I don't know if these were. This is from Carousel Horses. It was a series of stamps that they released in the 90s. This one is from, if you can focus, The state commemorative series from the Texas statehood is what this one's from. Oh yeah, I didn't even notice the Texan flag there. Carousel Horses is a cool series though. I like that artwork. There's those. Let's see what's next here. We'll look at this pile here next. If I could situate myself here. Got these Street Sharks cards for all you fans of 90s cartoons. Got the Street Sharks. I thought it was funny how like low resolution these Street Sharks cards are. They're like screenshots from the actual cartoon, so they're kind of low res photos. Got that one. I had a lot of duplicates of these for some reason. And then some more 90s nostalgia here. We got these TMNT 2 Secret of the Ooze trading cards. Got the anti-mutagen there. Actually, my favorite of the three original live-action Turtles movies was, I like the first one the most, but Secret of the Ooze also has a lot of nostalgia for me. Although, like I said, I prefer the first one. The actress they got to play April O'Neil in this one, I didn't like as much as the original lady. I think her name is Paige Turco, I want to say. But the lady in the 1990 film was the best. Got Don there, clobbered by Kino, blasting the shredder. Got that sweet guitar there, Mikey. Shredder holding the vial of ooze. A bogey-like farewell. And then this one is a Goosebumps trading card. I want to see what's on the back of this one because I don't even know where the hell I got this from, but I love Goosebumps, I'll tell you that much. Dinner is served. So it kind of has like the plot synopsis from The Girl Who Cried Monster. I want to eventually purchase all of the original Goosebumps and Animorphs books from the 90s, because they have a lot of nostalgia for me. I was really into the Goosebumps and Animorphs in those days, so I want to eventually get all of those. I want to read the Animorphs books too, just because I've read a couple of them, but I haven't read the whole series. I know K.A. Applegate, the lady who wrote the Animorphs books, actually used ghostwriters a lot, so it's not even the same author every time, but I think a lot of those children's or young teen books or whatever from the 90s were written by ghostwriters. Then we have these Batman trading cards, which I like a lot. I saw somebody selling a lot of the Batman trading cards, sealed booster packs of the cards, which was interesting. So I guess they're not that rare if you can still buy sealed boosters for fairly cheap. Got that one. Weapon Against Evil. Jack and Alicia. Friends and Lovers. I think Michael Keaton was underrated as Batman. I think he was a really good choice for Batman, honestly. The Tim Burton Batman films were really good in my opinion. Preparing for an assault. A Goon and His Tune. I like that one a lot. This one's, I think, got damaged because it was stuck to another card or something, but still mostly intact. Hilarious. Parked in the Batcave. From Burton to Batman. Batman's Public Service. Gruesome Grimace. There's this one. I think this is a sticker, actually, because it says Peel. So, Batman sticker there. Grotesque Reflections. The Fiend Flies High. Shooting the rescue scene. It's interesting that they have some that are like behind the scenes like shots. I thought that was an interesting choice. And I have a couple from Batman Returns as well. We got Catwoman there. This one is a shot of the sewers, I believe. I think that's when he was fighting Penguin. And then there's another shot of the sewers with some penguins there. So there's those. Let's see, what do we have? That's we're getting down to the last few things here. One thing I wanted to show off was this Michelle from Fox Kids. Just because she was a big part of my childhood. And the back of the card actually has the Casa Fox 2 programming schedule for weekday afternoons. Back in those days, you had Tom and Jerry Kids, Tiny Toon Adventures, Animaniacs, and Batman the Animated Series. So that was a huge part of my childhood. I pretty much watched that whole block of shows because I think in those days my elementary school actually let out at 3 or 3:30, so pretty much watch all of those right after school. The Animaniacs, Batman, Tiny Toons, those are all extremely nostalgic for me. Tom and Jerry Kids. Ah, the sweet memories. Wonder what Michelle from Fox Kids is up to nowadays. And then this is just a random Donald Duck card I had here. I wanted to see what was on the back of this one, because this is another one that I have no idea where I got it from. On the back is just another character there. Feeling like a skunk. This is... see if there's a date on here. It just says the Walt Disney Company. I don't see any date, so who knows where I even got that from. Interesting though. And then I had all these Star Wars, the card game cards here, which I think I got these from... I bought a lot of Magic the Gathering cards from this guy on Craigslist, I think, and I think these were like randomly thrown in. So there's a bunch of these Star Wars, the card game cards, which I never even knew there was a Star Wars card game, but it seems like in the 90s they made a card game for just about everything, so it's not too surprising. I used to collect these Star Wars trading cards that came out in the early 2000s as well. But these are kind of funny. I don't know if anyone who ever played this game, but hilarious. That one's great. Yeah, so I'd show those off, and then I think the last category to show here are I had bought a booster of Dragon Ball Z trading cards a long time ago. I don't remember where I got these from. It was in the 90s as well. It might have been at somewhere in maybe Coronado Mall, maybe, possibly Chibi Metropolis, because I know that store was pretty much one of the only stores I've ever seen here that sold anime memorabilia. But got a couple of these Dragon Ball Z cards. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Still have all these here, but none of them were of players that I recognize. They're pretty much every sport you could think of. There's a bunch of hockey cards in there and a bunch of other sports, but like I said, I'm really only a fan of NFL, and even then I'm a pretty casual fan of sports, so it's not really my strong suit, but maybe I'll take a look at those some other time. But yeah, that's pretty much everything there that I wanted to show off. Thanks for watching, everybody. Look forward to another video soon. Like I said, I do want to show off possibly my comic book collection and maybe stamp collection in another video, but yep, that's about it. See you all next time.